The airspace around Ottawa Rockcliffe Airport and around the whole Ottawa region is quite complex. It can be daunting to try and understand it by looking at the VTA, so we're going to try and decode that together in the next few minutes. So let's first talk about generalities, and let's first identify the major blocks of airspace that we have. So first we have around the Ottawa Macdonald-Cartier Airport, we have the Class C control zone. It starts obviously at the ground level, and it actually reaches into airspace close to Rockcliffe, but not quite to it. There's also the Gatineau Airport airspace. So Gatineau is here, Rockcliffe is here, Carp is there, and I've already mentioned Ottawa Macdonald-Cartier Airport. The airspace around Gatineau is not classically controlled, in the sense it's not Class C or D, where you need to be talking to an air traffic controller, but it is nonetheless mandatory frequency. So let's look first around Rockcliffe itself. So if you notice here, there is a zone which has a hash mark all around it, and this is to designate a high traffic area. In this particular high traffic area, you'll see a box over here with an arrow pointing to this section, and the airspace in here below 1500 is Class G airspace. So no airspace requirements, no visibility requirements other than 1 or 2 miles, depending on how high you are. From 1500 to 2500, in fact to 3000, it's Class E airspace. So now the controlled airspace visibility requirements apply, more than 3 miles, and visibility below cloud, etc. But in the 2500 to 3000 feet, you also need to have a Mode C transponder. So this represents this whole area. So from leaving from Rockcliffe to go section to the practice area up here, up the Gatineau River, you are in lightly controlled, let's put it this way, Class E or Class G airspace all the way, and don't need to contact anyone at that point. Above 3000 feet, however, you should be talking to and getting a clearance into that airspace from terminal, Ottawa Terminal, on frequency 127.7. So this represents this area around here. There's a bit of an exception in here to the Ottawa control zone. So below 2000 feet, as you can see here, control zone is excluded below that. So this is really the operational area around Rockcliffe. Below 2000 feet, you can go up to this red line, which is the Queensway or Highway 417. And essentially that, if you stay north of that, you are staying in uncontrolled or at least lightly controlled airspace. Gatineau airspace here is Class E airspace, but it's also mandatory frequency. So you need to be talking to Gatineau radio if they're operational, but in any case talking to in that zone and announcing your intentions, because it is mandatory frequency 24 hours. This particular section here over the river, so sorry, just go back here. Control zone is starting from the ground again up to 2500 feet. Here, this section in here is actually below 700 feet above ground level, is uncontrolled. So this was left in here to allow float planes to be able to take off and either follow the river to come into Rockcliffe or depart, and because there is a fair amount of float plane traffic. At least that's my understanding of why that was left there. But certainly below 700 feet or 700 feet AGL, which is 800 to 900 feet, depending on where you are, ASL, this is uncontrolled airspace. Above that, again, Class E all the way to this area here. So this zone in here now, outside the control zone and up to this gray line, and it actually pursues all the way here to this section in here, is now 1,500 feet to 12,500 is Class C airspace, again, terminal airspace. So below 1,500 feet, of course, though, that is Class G. And so leaving Rockcliffe, you could depart this way, being careful not to clip any other airspace below, staying below 1,500 feet, or coming in, the same thing, coming in from the east. It's a possibility to do that. A better option, of course, is always talking to terminal or to the controllers, either in tower or terminal, and they will advise you about traffic if they are able to do so, which is kind of a useful service, of course. What else is there? So we've talked about the high traffic area. Then the next part here that's important is the practice area. So this zone here, north of this gray line here, is the Ottawa practice area. You don't see the limits of it in this drawing, but it just goes fairly far away. And the frequency used in there is a common frequency, which is 123.35. It is mostly uncontrolled, but starting at 1,500 feet, there is Class E airspace in there. And but it is then good up till about 4,000 feet in terms of operational use. So and then at that point in time, then it becomes Class C airspace again, terminal Class C airspace. So I think I've covered most of the area around here. This zone over here, just so you know, requires above 2,500 feet, requires a Mode C transponder, even though it is Class E airspace. Below 2,500 feet, you can wander around it without a transponder. So and the reason for that, of course, is because this is the zone where airplanes taking off on runway 32 or coming in on runway 14 would be coming in. So I hope this is useful. This quick review of the airspace around Gatineau, Rockcliffe, and Ottawa and the practice area. Thank you for watching.